Today I'm going to talk to you about these preachers who are cowards, who are whiners, and considering themselves to be persecuted by the government. They are whining about transgenderism and drag shows and stuff like that, saying that the government is grooming kids. That's all foolishness. It's just a lie because they afraid to actually teach the truth about what's really going on. So they pick up these cultural issues to whine and complain about. That's not a threat, okay? Satan is doing things out there in this world that is evil and way more wicked than what they're complaining about. All right, these are cowards. Okay, men in drag has been something for decades. They started that on television, in movies, with Robin Williams playing Mrs. Doubtfire, and the sitcom with Tom Hanks and Bosom Buddies. These were men in drag. Then they went on to black men with Martin Lawrence and Big Mama and Tyler Perry with Medea. This has always been something. Then they got the RuPaul guy. This has always been an issue, but they never said anything about it. Now they're up in arms about transgenderism because the government has started to protect that group of people. So they feel like, they need to protect the children. I'm going to tell you how to protect your children from this spirit. You teach your children. Teach them that this is wrong. And, you just like you teach anything else, that weed is wrong, or drugs is wrong, or stealing is wrong. You teach your kids just like anything else. But the only reason during the 80s and the 90s when they came out with this drag stuff, these preachers wasn't saying anything. They weren't concerned about this. They started moving around the time of when gay marriage became legal. That's when they started, moving. But the only reason they started moving on that is because it was pushed by a black president. See, the devil he's the prince of darkness. All right? He's moving in many circles, not just transgenderism. He's moving on drugs, injustice, violence, hate. He's moving on all of this stuff. But they're complaining like wimps, whiners about transgenderism. This has always been an issue since the 80s. But I'm going to tell you why they didn't say anything during that time, the 80s and the 90s. They didn't say nothing about it. They weren't complaining about it. You can look at their websites now, the Christian Post and Christianity Today, and that's all their articles are all about transgenderism and, grooming children. But they didn't say anything about this during the 80s and 90s. You know why? Because they were all about money. They were prosperity preachers. Now, when they started this, when their Messiah, Donald Trump, got into office, and he started scaring everybody about transgenders, homosexuals, abortion, black people, Hispanics. He's a divider. He's a sorcerer. And he taught those people to rise up against political and cultural issues. But you think the devil is going to pay attention to any written laws being written? He don't care nothing about laws. He don't care. He's gonna seduce this country the way he always has. He's gonna go in silently and quietly through society, through Hollywood, and through the churches, and he's going to corrupt corrupt people. Like I said, teach your children. If you don't want them transgender, then teach them about it. If you don't want them homosexual, just like anything else you teach your child. Don't do drugs, don't steal, don't lie, don't cheat, don't kill. Teach them, don't be transgender, don't be homosexual. Just teach them. You can pass all the laws you want on homosexuality, abortion, transgender. You can pass all the laws you want. Satan don't care about laws. Okay? He gonna do it anyway. They don't care about anything else. Okay? Satan is moving in dark corners of this society. He got kids killing each other. All right? Killing their parents. Okay? He got people overdosing. He got parents overdosing on drugs. Their children overdosing on drugs. Are these preachers talking about this? No. Because they're cowards. Satan is moving on hatred, hate crimes, violence. They're not even reporting these type of things on the news as they should. But it's on video. He's moving in many areas. But these preachers, they don't care nothing about none of this stuff. Because they're wimps. They're cowards. And if you are hollering and screaming about men dressing in drag, but you're ignoring the other evils in this society, your priorities are misplaced. You're worried about the wrong thing. I don't care how many laws you pass. Satan don't care about laws, you idiot. Okay? He's moving in darkness. He's the prince of darkness. If a men of God, they fight these spiritual wickedness in high places by using the power of God to the pulling down of strongholds. Do you understand how to pull down a stronghold? Using the power of God. That's how you fight wickedness in high places. You don't write a law. He don't care about that. Okay, you don't push people to vote. He don't care about that. He don't care about legislation. You fight the devil with the power of God to the pulling down. Our weapons of warfare are not carnal. They're mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds. That's how you fight the devil. Do you know how to pull down a stronghold? If you don't, you need to pray and you need to grow up. You need to understand more about the power of God. But these theologian preachers, okay, these YouTube minion preachers, these wimps, they're trying to use laws and legislation. They don't care. They don't understand. They have a form of godliness, but they deny the power. That's why they can't get nothing done. You know what's worse? Satan is moving. The sexual sins of this country is insane. Okay, you got pedophilia, pornography. They don't say anything. They don't say anything about these things. Pornography has been popular for years, especially when the internet came out. All right, you got sex trafficking, exploitation of young kids. All right, the sexual sins of this country by itself is darkness. And you worried about men dressing up like women. You are a weak, pathetic, untaught, unlearned person. You are not a man of God. Men of God fight with the spirit and the power of God. We're fighting spiritual wickedness. Okay? I read this story and it moved me and it touched me. But I'm gonna tell you something. These two men, okay, got married. All right, I hate it too. They get married and they thought it would be cute to raise a son. So they find that they adopt this boy. They raise him as a family, two men, and he's growing up, and he started going to school. He gets 6, 7 years old, and he starts to wonder, why is it that my friends have mothers, but I have two fathers? And he started getting teased in elementary school. Then he started getting bullied in middle school. And then the boy started using drugs, okay, at about 13 or 14. Then he ran away from home, and the guys couldn't find him. And they found him after about a week. And he was going through some mental issues. He had been bullied. He started doing drugs. By the time this boy was 15 years old, he committed suicide. He ran away again, and they couldn't find him. And about a year later, they found his body. That moved me, and it hurt me. And it's not the politicians, all right, who can change this. I wanted to go to them men and say, what are you thinking? Why would you teach a child this type of lifestyle? Why would you raise this? Did you not consider the fact that this boy was going to be harassed and bullied? But they don't care about nobody else. All they care about is their fantasy of having a cute little family of a child raised by two men. Society is not ready for that, and I don't advocate for any of that. But I'm saying the way to fight I would have went to that man and said, "Look, this is evil." That's what the problem is. All right, it's not in politics. Politicians are moved by the culture to make laws. That's why marriage equality became a thing, because the culture, society moved against the politicians. They forced them to do it. It's not politicians. It's spiritual wickedness in high places. If you cannot learn that type of warfare, then you are not fit for the kingdom of God. Peace, more power to you.